You're so techie.
It's official now. Are you all good to go?
Yeah.
Camera here. Both of these are the cameras. Hey, what's up, guys? Logan Wells here with Scooter Gennett. Episode 5, I believe.
Yes.
Show podcast.
Yeah.
Took a little break off. Had some family stuff. We've been traveling. Had a lot of baseball going on, but back and ready to go. Ready to rip.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun. It's been a while, like you said. Happy to be back.
Cool. Well, hey, so coming right out, firing. I guess main question is who can help you get to the next level? Like our main goal here, to mind you, is to help out current players, help out parents. Feel like there's kind of a void missing in sport where there's a lot of channels to pay for things and a lot of channels to play, but getting the proper information that's needed to help guide you and help guide your child, I feel like that void's missing a lot. So right out of the rip here, it's like we both have sons now. We're gonna be going through this at some point here soon. Who do you think can help you get to the next level? Who do you think can help you achieve these goals?
That's a good question. I mean, a good teacher, a good coach, right? Like a good person. Not saying that there's a bunch of bad people out there, but it's hit or miss. And I think a lot of parents, they buy in a little bit on too much of what some of these not so good coaches say. Like, if you play for our team, we've had these players make it to college, and almost like like there's some type of guarantee that they can give you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's bullshit. I think
Yeah.
the only way that they get to the next level is because of their hard work, how they are, grades, all that. But a good coach isn't going to say, if you play for us, like, you're going to go to Florida State because I know the coach.
Right.
And I think that's getting tossed around a lot nowadays. And parents, they feel like there is some type of control that they have,
Mm-hmm.
other than just placing them in a good program.
Mm-hmm.
They still feel like they can do something. I think that's natural as a parent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what can I do to maybe change this result in a few years? And I really think the hardest thing to do is to just let them go.
Yeah.
And trust that you made the right decision to pick a good high school, to pick a good travel organization. And for me, you're buying into the person, not, we got cool uniforms and, we're pretty competitive. Like, no, like, you're buying into the person. And for you, coaching with you for a few years, I've learned a lot about coaching. Obviously playing is different. I'm assuming that these guys might understand things or might get what I'm trying to say, but I had to take a step back. Like, you didn't know you were teaching me, but I was like learning from you, which I think if I can learn from you, then a lot of these kids can.
And obviously it goes both ways with it too, where it's like these kids are so fortunate, and to that point of helping get to the next level, it's like the resources you have. If we have one of those MLB caliber type players that haven't been seen yet, like, you can make a phone call, you could help people,
Right.
You can help get them in that situation. From a collegiate standpoint, clearly I can. I mean, we take pride in the fact that getting a kid that's a Division I level player already, it's not hard to help them get to D1.
Right.
Now, on the flip side, I think we're helping a lot of kids that might not even have an opportunity to play college sports if it wasn't for us.
Right.
And I genuinely take pride in that. I take pride in the fact that they come, they bust it, they give us everything they have. And then from there, I think that that's what we owe back to them.
Right.
We owe, Rolodex isn't the word anymore, contacts, like, your list of contacts. I'm happy to use my list of contacts to help players, pending they're doing the right thing. I think you
Right.
and I are both the same, where I'm not going to put my name on anybody if they're not doing it the right way.
Right.
I don't
And
care
nor
how,
should you.
Yeah, and I don't care how talented you are. It's like, I might get away with that one time. I might get a coach to, hey, this kid's great, you should take him, blah, blah, blah. Then that kid shows up and he's not only a quality athlete, but a quality human being.
Right.
That coach is never going to give me an opportunity again
Right.
to bring players in. So to that, I think from helping kids get to the next level, it's thrown out a lot. we can go to Florida State, we can do this, we can do that. And at the end of the day, it's really how hard are you willing to work,
Right.
you know, and surrounding yourself with the right people that can help achieve those goals for you. And not only that, but tell you what you need to hear,
Right.
not what you want to hear.
Yeah, and I think we're just in these days. I don't want to say soft. It's not like being soft, but people want to hear like, oh yeah, you can. You know, you're gonna be a D1 starting pitcher. You know, they want to hear that. It makes them feel good when they hear it. But I think, in all reality, you know what you're capable of as a player.
Yeah.
And yeah, do you need help with some, you know, fundamental stuff, or you could kind of like, you know, groom them a little bit. But really, these guys, like if they're playing on our team at 16, 17, they should know how to hit.
Yep.
Now, can we fine tune an approach? Can we just guide them and, you know, help them out, get a little better every day? And then, you know, they're in college and they look back like, man, like, I'm glad these coaches were honest, transparent with me when they're saying, you know, I want to go to FSU. Well, right now you're not, you know, and you've said stuff like, hey, like, I'm not saying it's not possible, but as of right now, you are not an FSU recruit.
Right.
You don't even have a D2 offer. Like, let's be realistic. And like you said, telling them what they need to hear, I think is just, it's becoming more rare nowadays for adults to be completely transparent with the youth. And it's hard because you don't want to scare them. You don't want to tell them, hey, after your senior year, you're going to be maybe on your own. You're now like a man living in an apartment or something. Like, it happens like that.
Yep.
And I think these kids need to hear that. They need to realize you're a sophomore or junior. Like, it's coming. Like, it's coming really quick. So you just need to take it serious, focus, lock in, because this is an opportunity you might never get in life, you know, to play baseball.
Yep. We've kind of seen, you and I, similar interest online, following people, friends, whatever the case may be on social media. I think people are in it for the right reasons. So like, this isn't a me coming at anybody, this isn't a knock towards anybody, but it's like, I'm seeing where contact lists are being sold, right? Where you can go on and you could purchase a list of college coaches' information online. And I see both sides, right? But I'm interested to hear your take. What do you think about being able to purchase a list of college contacts? What do you think that does for you as a player?
I think again we get into that control, like still having a sense of control as a parent, which you do, but like in their sport, baseball's a performance rules, you know, like that is what's going to get your kid to the next level, is them performing and doing well. And you can't really do anything about it. I think if you're going that route as a parent and you're considering that as like it's going to be real, like that's going to help them get to the next level, I think I would probably say there's a little delusion there.
Yeah.
And I would think that would be a red flag if I was a parent. If I felt the need to do that for my kid, that to me is a red flag. Maybe my kid's not as good as I think, or maybe they're not gonna play college baseball. Like, that's okay.
Yeah.
Baseball isn't everything, but baseball is a tool that you could use to go to college for free, or you know, make a career. And I just think if you're going that route as a parent and you're considering paying to get your kids' highlights emailed to scouts, I think you're doing a little bit too much.
Yeah, I agree. I also think too, to a certain side of it, where it's like, I could sell somebody Scooter Gennett's phone number. That doesn't mean you're going to answer.
Yeah.
You know.
I hope you don't.
Yeah, I would. But it's like
$5.
Yeah, right.
DM me.
Highest bidder. But it's like to that point. Like, I don't know if my name's on that list, right? I don't know if my name's on these lists, but I know that I wouldn't be extremely happy with somebody that I've trusted, I've given this contact information to, just openly handing it out or selling it for that matter, and them benefiting off of it. Not to mention, it's like, I can't guarantee you that there's going to be, that I'm going to open that email, you know?
Right.
Like, I get...
Yeah, I'm sure it's just a scam, basically. It's probably one, maybe you do get one, but then you put it into the spam and then you never get it again.
And it's like, my money goes to, and talk goes to, back to what organization are you playing for?
Right.
Because this is what an organization should be doing for you anyways.
Right.
I don't invite you to come play for my organization and then say, hey, by the way, for an extra $200, I'll sell you a list of college contacts. I'm more along the lines of, by playing for me, we just mentioned a minute ago, by playing for us, you have access to these contacts now. Now, I'm not going to reach out to these contacts if I don't feel that you're deserving of it.
Right.
If I don't feel that you're a quality person, if I don't feel like you're athletic enough to go to that level. And I think it also kind of comes with a lot more, not tooting my horn or yours, but it's like if in the subject, your name is attached to it, my name is attached to it, it's coming from an official college email, it's coming from an official MLB email. Like, these are things where that's what's going to increase the rate of things being opened up.
Right.
And me spending X amount of dollars, I have no idea what they're going for. But I would just tell you as a parent, you know, instead of spending the money there, maybe find somebody who, from a lesson standpoint, a training standpoint, you can get a lesson, you can get training, and you can get told these things, as opposed to learning the hard way, spending money. You spend $200, whatever the case is on this stuff, you go send a bunch of emails out, and you still have the same problem you had at the beginning.
Right.
No one's answered your emails.
Yeah, we spoke to some of our guys. We said, make us a list of colleges that you think are realistic for you, or where you would want to go visit, or you think you could play for. And I don't know how many we got back, but just getting them to think about the reality of their situation, I think, is way more important than sending a mass email out to 1,000 colleges and hoping you get a bite. You know, like, for me, it's, they need to understand the situation they're in. Me, for example, when I was in high school, but my freshman year, the goal was just to make varsity one day and then to try to get a college scholarship. But I knew that it wasn't going to be, you know, me reaching out to FSU or me doing anything at that moment other than just getting better. And then when you get better, the scouts come. Like, you can't force them to come. And if you're doing that, then I think, again, that's a red flag of, like, maybe I'm not thinking how I should be thinking. Like, I'm not being realistic with myself, you know, and I think that's the hardest thing to do as a parent. I mean, he's going to be 3 in a couple weeks, but, like, you don't want to see them fail.
Right.
But you can't be like, oh, my kid's so smart. Like, no, he's not.
Right.
I mean, you'll know if they're smart. They're playing chess at 3, or, you know. It's just being realistic and not giving them a false sense of reality, right? Like, hey, we're doing all these, we're going to this travel ball tournament, you know, and you're going to play for FSU one day, and he's throwing 81, 82, you know, as a senior. It's like,
Probably not.
Like, let's just enjoy this while we have it, because it's going to be over like that. And everyone's career comes to an end. I think I was just lucky that my mindset was making varsity and then also just trying to get a little better every day. And I knew I can put that work in. I know I can put the work in. And then you put in the work, then you start to believe in yourself and you start to gain confidence because you work hard. That's how it all works. And I knew I could do that. And I think a lot of these guys feel like they can put in the work, but it's also like, hey, maybe I'm not. I worked my butt off for years and I still wasn't good enough. So what? You weren't good enough. It's okay. You know?
Happens.
But if you want to be told, you know, things that you need to work on and get better, and, you know, and you want that resource, I think that's what I would want my kid to play for you, just because I know you're not going to sugarcoat anything. You're going to tell me how it is. And one, obviously, we're teaching them, in our opinion, the right way to play the game. But also, you know, getting them to be realistic and pushing them as a man. You know, not just baseball.
And to that, I guess, like, this platform isn't for us to sit here and, not that you are, not that I'm not trying to sell people or sway people to come to Bay Area Pro. I'm not trying to force people to swing show bats. Like, that's not what this is about. Am I biased about what we have? Do I think we have a great product? Absolutely, I do. But it's more so, this is kind of free game for everybody, right? Like, if you're in a situation where you're not getting this stuff that we're talking about, you need to find the situation.
Right. Whether
it be us, whether it be someone similar, and if feel free to DM either one of us. Reach out, ask questions. If we don't have what you're looking for at Bay Area, I'm fans of a lot of these coaches out here. There's a lot of coaches that we coach against that I genuinely like, that I have good relationships. I think they do the right things. I would refer people to those types of programs. Now, on the flip side, I'm going to be brutally honest and tell you where I don't think you should go to if you bring that up, because I see that side of it, and that kind of leads into the next segues into this. And I'm passionate about this. I think it's a big problem going on in high school baseball right now, and it's not all the coaches in our area. It's not all the coaches in Florida. But it's a lot, and it's. Do you feel that you should be forced, or do you feel that you should be swayed, or do you feel like you should be motivated to have to play for your high school summer team each summer?
No, not at all. Not at all.
And you played for a pretty good high school, right?
Yeah. Yeah, seriously, not how we weren't bad. I just think if you're, again, it goes back to like, are you a good dude? Like, are you a good coach? Like, usually your favorite teacher was a good person.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think I got lucky. Clyde was, the man. Knows how to win, knows how to play. Is a friend to this day, but even when we weren't scared of him, but when we were on the field, we were like locked in and focused. Like we're not going to give him any reason to think that we don't want to be there, be locked in.
Right.
And I think I was lucky to have a coach like that. And I think in every town there's probably, let's just say on average, there's 5 travel ball teams in whatever town across America. I think you're going to have 2 good coaches out of those 5 and 3 that aren't so good. It's just navigating through and trying to really, if you just get a bad feeling about somebody, like, trust your gut.
Yeah.
You know, if they seem like a a-hole, they probably are, and they probably don't have your best interest at heart.
Right.
And I just feel like I'm very blessed to have my parents, I think, knew that and knew, like, hey, this isn't the right fit. I think every kid's different too. You know, some kids need to be yelled at and need to be pushed. Some kids you just leave them alone, they'll figure it out. And I think if you just something turns you off, it's probably for a good reason as a parent. And if your high school coach is saying that you need to play for their travel ball team, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
And get out of there.
Yeah.
Because that's not it at all.
Yeah, and I first off, I totally agree with you. But to add to it, it's kind of like the frustrating part for me is I feel bad for the caliber of players that it's happening to. Mm-hmm. And when I say that, it's not the Scooter Gennett's in high school, you know, because it's the quality ball players, the high caliber ball players, because your coach isn't saying, hey, Scooter, you better play for me this summer or else, because you're going to be you have the leverage in that situation. You're going to be able to turn around and say, or else what? I'm not going to be your 3-goal hitter?
Right.
Or else what? I'm not going to be your starting shortstop? And not that you would do that. We grew up in we didn't grow up in the transfer every time you're not happy.
Right.
Day and age. That's what these coaches have to deal with. So I get that too. And you want to keep guys close to you, and you don't want to give them an opportunity to step foot on the other side and see that the grass could potentially be greener. I understand all of that. I hate the fact that it's happening to the bubble guys.
Yeah.
Is where it's really happening. Because like a player like you, not that you had to tell Clyde this, a player like me, I was nowhere near you, but my head coach wasn't about to force me to play summer baseball at Palmetto High School. Love Palmetto High School. Nothing personal against him. Love him. Saw him at Publix the other day. Great dude. He's not about to tell me you're not going to go play for Post 24. You're not going to go get extra visibility. The teams that I was playing for in the summer, similar to you, there was college scouts at.
Right.
That wasn't happening at Palmetto High. That's still not happening at some of these local high schools. So it's like telling a kid, forcing a kid, and more so than anything, I guess the best word is leveraging them. Mm. And the leverage comes from, I strongly suggest that if you want to play varsity next year, Bubba, yes.
Give me your $2,000 and maybe you'll start.
And
I feel like if you're one of those players, like you're saying, kind of like bubble player, like I'm probably going to make the team, but I don't know if I'm going to be a starter.
Right.
Like that area, I think it doesn't really matter anyways.
You're right.
You know what I mean? It doesn't enjoy the moment you have, because it's going to be over like that. And I think for these kids, just with technology, they're seeing all this success. They're seeing all these athletes with Lamborghinis and islands, and that's like they're thinking that is real, like it's the reality, and it just isn't in most cases. And I don't think you put all your eggs in one basket if you are one of those fringe guys. So if you don't make the team because you didn't play on the travel ball team in the high school, then who cares?
And the simplest thing too, I get it. I genuinely do get it. I get that a high school baseball coach makes $3,000 for the full year, and when you break it down hourly, you're making $1 an hour if you're lucky. You're probably losing money.
Right, a good high school coach is not there for the money. They're there for the
so thank you, because that's exactly where I was going with that.
Yeah.
So high school coaches, if you're not there for the money, then quit making it about the money.
Right.
Like simple.
Right.
Like if you're there, and I get it. Like major league coaches, they want to make money. They want to make millions of dollars. Assistant coaches, they want to make money. College coaches, they want to make money. If that's what you're in it for, if you're and nobody's going to be upset about that. Like there's professional coaches for a reason.
Right.
Like there's collegiate coaches for a reason. Like there's opportunities to make money being a coach if that's what you're genuinely in it for. And I understand that. But don't say I coach high school baseball for the love of the game, and then at $1,500 a player for the summer,
right?
Is it really for the love of the game?
Yeah.
And it's the same kid that you had sit the bench for you all spring. You played 20 high school baseball games and he didn't play. But now, hey, little Timmy, if you give me $1,500,
right,
this summer it's different. And I have so much respect for the coaches that do not do that,
right?
Because there's a lot of them that don't. Like there are a handful that do not do that. And
I just wish it was the majority. That's the problem. The majority,
exactly. You're exactly
is doing that.
Yeah, and I'm as impressed as I am with the coaches. We're fortunate enough to have a lot in our organization. I watch it firsthand. They're not forcing kids to play here, right? It's they're here for a reason. They know what we do, and
we have some really good coaches.
We're blessed. Yeah,
I don't know how you did it. But you did it.
It's collectively. It's been all of us. Like it's the
hopefully these kids listen to us.
Yeah, right. But at the end of the day, it's like you could tell I'm passionate about that. That part irks me. Like I don't like that at all. I don't like that about the sport. I don't like that about and it's as impressed as I am with that's what I was finishing with. As impressed as I am with the coaches that are doing it the right way. I don't tell our players enough. I'm proud of our players that are able to bow your chest out a little bit and say, you know what, Coach Logan, I don't care what they say. I'm playing for you.
Right.
Because I've seen what you've done for other players. I've seen where you guys are getting other guys. I know who has my best interest at heart, right? And I'm so proud of those guys because I know ultimately it probably does hurt them a little bit when they go back. Luckily for us, we got some really good athletes and they produce.
Right.
But it's like going back and them not playing for their coach for the summer and then seeing them again at the fall. You're probably starting off, if you were 1A last year, you're probably starting off 1B.
Right.
You're already in the hole. So I'm proud of those guys for doing that. But this year with the episodes, we're going to try to be a little short, sweeter. And so my last thing with you, because we really haven't discussed this at all, ever. Show bats. Why?
Yeah.
What made you start the company?
So, well, to start off, we don't make much money at all. Like, just off the rip. Gotta start there. The goal wasn't to make money. The goal for me, I started the company in, 2016? And it was strictly just to get the best wood I could get, right? And you would think being in the big leagues, you're going to get the best stuff, right? And I'm over here looking at Ryan Braun's sandbats, and I have sandbats, and I'm like, why do you have like a different like grading on your, like he had like, they like rated all of his wood, and I'm just over here with like the one you would just go online and order.
Right.
And they were good bats, but I would get, out of a dozen, I would get 6 that are just not like gonna break, like barreled up break. And I'm like, I can't have that happen. Like, bases loaded, and instead of it being a home run, it's a fly out,
right.
And we lose the game. Like, I need to have the best bat. And like, I'm like, Ron, like, what can I do? Can you tell him to send me? He's like, dude, he's like, I'm part owner. Like, I own some shares in the company or something like that.
Right.
I'm like, okay, I get it. So I just moved on. I went, Found a manufacturer, asked if they wanted to pay for the licensing. You got to get licensed by MLB and have insurance and all that. So it was a process, but yeah, I was getting the best wood that I could get. And for me, there's no more important tool in baseball than your bat.
Yep.
And obviously your gloves pretty good.
important.
But sometimes you don't even need your gloves, just bury it. But a bat is important, and I always, I don't know if it was like an OCD thing. I don't want to say I have a lot of OCD in me, but maybe I do. But I couldn't get it off my mind. So I started my own company. And then till my last year in 2019, I used them. And then after I got done playing, I was like, I don't really want to. It's like $20,000 a year to get licensed by MLB. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I'm not playing, so what's the point? So we're not licensed currently. We can be, we just can't pay. But I kept the company going because I just really feel like these kids can't go to the store and buy anything close to this.
No.
They can't. And even if they go and order a Marucci or some other brand bat, they're not going to get, Ronald Acuna Jr.'s Marucci.
Yeah.
It might say his model on there, but it's going to be trash.
Right.
And they charge out the
Wazoo.
yeah, they charge a lot for not good quality stuff, and I just feel like if I was a parent, I would want to have this option for my kids, so that's why we do it. And we really just break even every year, or that's the goal, is to break even, not lose money, which we've lost money in the past. But
well, we've been fortunate too with Bay Area. Obviously, we paired up with you. Been blessed to come on and actually be a part of the team with you guys, with you and your family, which has been great. I know the kids genuinely enjoy swinging them from a coaching standpoint. I've bought my third Fungo.
Yeah.
None of them have broke. I'm just have 3 of them now.
Yep.
So they've been great. I think the good part about this is one thing alludes to the next. Speaking of show bats, our last question that we were going to have, I kind of passed it, was when you're looking for a travel program, what should you look for? We have our makeup tryouts coming up next weekend. It's at Ecker College, January 18th, 2029 class, 2028, 2027, 2026, 2025. A couple of the teams have already been filled, but we are looking for a few players. From the scout team standpoint, we're definitely looking to get the highest quality ball players we can and try to not only win baseball games, but to try to help these guys get to the next level. So throughout this conversation, if you're missing out on any of the stuff that we've collectively been talking about, if you don't have the quality coaches, if you don't have the training, if you don't have the best products, if you don't have representation, if you don't have people telling you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, I challenge you to come try out. I challenge you to come meet us, to come get an opportunity to see what it's like playing for us. And yeah, we might not have the best uniforms, but they're pretty cool though too.
they're pretty cool. Good colors.
So
yeah, like you said, I mean, come on out, or if you have any questions at all, if you're out of state and you just want to ask, like, what should I do to get better, or what did you do? I'm more than happy to bring up some old war stories about certain workouts and all those sorts of things. I just encourage any player out there to look at themselves in the mirror and ask yourself if you want it, and are you willing to put in the hard work? Because if you are, it's there for the taking, and you just got to find teams or coaches like us that are going to tell you the truth. And I think people, if you just read them, that's your initial read of somebody is usually right. And I say trust your gut when you're talking to high school coaches and travel ball organizations. Trust your gut and try to play for somebody that's a good person.
And then if you guys feel, obviously with his following, this is going to be seen all throughout the United States. If anybody is interested in being a part of the program, our scout teams, we're open to it. If you want to send us some videos, send us some film, some recommendations, we'll gladly take a look at all that. Our local teams, we really try to stay with our Manatee, Sarasota, St. Pete, surrounding counties. But as far as the scout team goes, hey, if you got what it takes and you want to come give it a chance, give us a shout. Feel free to DM us, reach out if you guys have any questions, comments, concern. My name's Logan Wells, Scooter Gennett. We are at the Spot Athletic Center. We've upgraded our podcast stuff too, by the
I
way.
know. I like the black paint.
All right. Well, hopefully episode 6 will coming back soon. We'll have some announcements with the guests and everything. And thank you guys for tuning in.
Peace.
Peace. Cool.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
That was fun.